fam, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, welcome and buckle up because around here we grow, we glow, and we do it with a little bit of intentionality. I am Carol the author, and I am here to help you elevate your mindset, protect your peace, and step into your power unapologetically. So let's get into today's video. So today I'm unpacking another chapter from my book, The Perfect Paintbrush. The chapter is titled Listen. And as usual, we are going to start with the Bible verse that is at the beginning of this chapter. And it reads, "For you created my inmost being. You knit me together in my mother's womb. I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful, and I know that fully well." Psalms 139 verses 3 to 14. I'm just going to leave that right there. So from the first episode of this series, I shared a story on what inspired me to write about not worrying. So the same is going to happen with this chapter. That's how I literally wrote this book. There had to be some background event or circumstance that I went through that also helped me craft the message the way I did. And just to remind you, this book was written for motivating people. That's what I had in mind, and I still have that in mind. This book has to help someone at least. So the chapter is titled Listen. So here's a little background story. Back then, the old carer, I can confidently say that now, the old carer used to be a girl who was very, very, very emotional. Well, I'm still a bit emotional, but these days I can control it. Okay, but back then I used to be very emotional. Any small thing could really tick me off, and it would affect all the people around me. Whether you would tell that something is not right today. So it so happened that on this particular day, by the way, I'm just retelling what's in the book. So there was this particular day that I had a huge fight with my friend. And fighting with your friends is not really something chinonakidza, because sometimes you really fight so hard, and see, it's always the people that you love that know the buttons, the right buttons that just piss you off. So that's what happened on that day, and I got super, super angry. And zaitika ndezveti ndaitsamwa, and kutsamwa ikoko would affect everyone around me. Like I said, I would not talk to anyone. Ukataura nini ndaingokupindura my yes or no, just answer zvaunenge ndibvunza and clearly show you that I do not want to engage in a conversation whatsoever. So that's what happened on that particular day. And after fighting with my friend, we were both too proud to even apologize to each other. So a day went by. But the thing is, I would constantly check my phone to see if, she has said something, but I just couldn't bring myself to be the bigger person, and apologize. So, you know what, it's fine. If you don't want to apologize to me, it's okay. I am not going to talk to you. I am not going to text you. I am not going to call you. I'm not going to look for you. I don't even care, Kuti. Are you okay? What's going on with you? Day 1, we didn't talk. Day 2, right? So, and I check my phone to see if she had texted me. So then I was like, you know what? Let me just get away from my phone for a day. No social media, literally no social media. No WhatsApp, no Facebook, no TikTok, no YouTube, literally no social media, no Twitter at all. Surprisingly, right, that made me calm a little bit, just being away from my phone, and it brought a certain kind of calm I was not expecting to feel. Because trust me when I say ndandakatsamwa, ndandakatsamwa. So by not checking social media feed, I was able, for what could have been the first time, to listen to my own voice. Like, there's social media, you go, you're scrolling those voices, you're hearing this, you're consuming that, It's like, it's literally noise, and it's usually different. But being away from my phone for that day made me realize quickly, I consume so much noise, and I was able to listen to myself, to listen to that voice, cause soft voice, KK. I was able to listen to that. So this was not only enlightening, but it was very, very peaceful. Like, I felt at ease. This feeling is amazing, and I would want to feel that every time that I can, right? So I realized also kuti staying offline wasn't a bad thing, and I didn't owe anyone any explanation kuti saka tamboviri pa social media anditi. So this now bringing it to into perspective. We are now in the middle of January, and a lot may or may not be going on, but I just want to tell you that if you feel you need to take a break from social media or from something that you feel like is noise to you, do it, and do it so confidently, and do it. And remember, you do not owe anyone any explanation. Do what is good for you. Get rid of that noise for you, not for anybody else, but for you. So let's see what else we have here. So as I said before, I have this paragraph. We live in a world filled with so much noise. As soon as we wake up, we grab our phones, we check our emails, we go on social media, we see who's posting what on Facebook, on Instagram. We curiously read and scroll through the feeds to catch up on what transpired barely a few hours during your sleep. Guys, I know most of us are guilty of this. Pagarara paninyaya irkwitika. The first thing that we do when we wake up is try to catch up. Could just say happy. I think most of us do that, including me, right? Including me. So it's only after this is another paragraph. It's only after we've updated ourselves with what's happening in and around the world that we take a moment to pray and thank God for a new day. What we do not realize is how much clutter we already have in our mind. We completely overlook the psychological and mental noise. Those voices are louder than our own voices almost all the time. The danger comes in when we start shaping our perceptions, our beliefs, our practices, expectations, and routines based on what we see on social media, right? So the moment we wake up, we're not even taking the time to listen. Kungweta, wake up and then you sit in silence for about 5 minutes before you even touch that phone, before you grab that iPad, the tablet, laptop, before you sit per desktop pako. The moment you're not go muka and then you grab your phone, you're already putting noise in your head and you're determining how your day is literally going to go. So if we do take the time to listen, also like just get in that gratitude practice, right? Kuti, at least when you wake up, the first thing that you do is listen. You can even listen to how you're feeling. You can even, just sit in silence. And the whole purpose is not to let noise get in your mind. Maxine, just let it be a calm morning. So I highlighted that the danger comes when you start shaping your perceptions, and this is why, like, I think most of the people who deal with mental health issues, constantly ask us, what are you feeding your mind? So this one day of social media, and yeah, off social media, I guess. And then I eventually went off social media, well, except for YouTube, for about 1.5 years to 2 years. I was not active on any platform, well, except WhatsApp and YouTube. So I was not on Facebook, I was not on Instagram, I was not on TikTok. I was off, and that was the best thing I ever did for myself. When you take time to listen to yourself, to listen to your voice, to own that voice, and let it not be biased or influenced by social media, you will be stunned by how much good thoughts and great ideas you actually have. Because sometimes you might think of something, you might think of an idea, and then over it, but it's nobody really. You start doubting yourself because of the things that you're seeing on social media. Gets creative, or try to work around that idea. Okay, so the internet has deprived the majority of us of our own identity. We lose ourselves and we stop paying much detail to what we want, because many at times we make choices and decisions based on something that the internet says. Now the thing is, the internet is not entirely bad. They're like good things you can take from the internet. They're good things that you can incorporate into your daily lives from the internet. But you just have to be careful, and you have to be very, very discerning to see kuti izvi undibatsira or this is taking away from you. Because pamwe pacho ngochitofunga kuti you are adding something valuable, but uto depreciator ndizvo ukutopera basa, right? Like at the end of the day, you look back and you can't even recognize yourself. You've lost your identity completely because you've been trying to be person B, person D, person E, person F has said, person G has said this, person Z has said this, and now you're like a chameleon. You're changing colors at school. You can't even recognize who is Carol at the end of the day, simply because you have failed to incorporate listening in your life. Sit down and listen to yourself. You have great ideas. You've got great things you can achieve without getting validation from the internet, without letting the internet get into your way. Antka, sometimes when we don't take the time to listen, we block our own ideas and we lose ourselves completely. We cannot deny, neither can we run away from the fact that the world we live in is embedded much in technology, and depending on how one chooses to use it, it can either be a distraction, a connection, or a builder. A distraction, a connection, or a builder. So if you constantly are on social media, I need you to ask yourself, or like if you're constantly an online person, I need you to ask yourself this: is what you're consuming, what you're streaming, a distraction, a connection, or a building block? Right? Is it building you? Is it connecting you to the people, the things that will propel you forward? Or can say achieve those big, humongous dreams that you haven't told anybody about, because wood that they'll tell you that you're crazy. Or is it distracting you? Those huge dreams, the very same huge dreams that are crazy, are being destroyed before they even progress 1%. Chai dream yato crash ayatofa, because of what you're consuming, because of what you're listening to, because of the noise that you are consuming on a daily basis. And I think the emboita. So wow. Okay, so to continue, I also wrote that social media not only causes noise pollution in our minds, but it robs us of our humane qualities. Ubuntu. I'm talking about social media. This chapter is all about taking a break from social media and listening to yourself. We befriend each other on those platforms, but more often than not, we use these channels to create a delusion of grandeur. Isn't that excruciatingly sad? We get on these platforms to show off, to and we get there to show off. I'm not saying that's what we completely do, but like, yeah, and I'm not saying I'm right either, and neither am I saying I'm wrong, but we do that a lot. Or I've done this, I've done that, I've done that. That is cool, I guess, right? But then I remember around that time there's a meme that used to trend. And I can't stop texting back. I had to stop texting first and see how many dead plants you've been watering. Social media is ndamuka maksensen. Do you know I grabbed my phone and then the first thing I see is stop texting first and see how many dead plants you've been watering. Ime. Like, for me, that never sat well with me at all. Because if we're not careful and we literally follow everything that is said, we're gullible enough to accept what is circulating without closely critiquing the text. Ime. My friendships anupera kufa, my relations anupera kufa. Because has it ever occurred to you that you may also be someone else's dead plant? Stop texting first and see how many dead plants you're watering. What if you are also a dead plant that somebody else is watering? Then what? So sometimes if you have to love genuinely, your friends, your family members, you will never die from texting someone first. I mean, pride, ego may get in the way of it, but honestly, when you genuinely care for someone, you will never for one day think kuti nasi and it's good text and ningi because nezura has ndindakamita good morning mari mwezuro ndindakamita good morning. Imi we so you see, it's this kind of things that circulate on social media. Then that just made me realize when we consume this content, we need to take a step back and analyze and also just listen. The moment you're able to listen to yourself, you can tell when whatever you're consuming is good. You can tell whether something that you're consuming is good or bad for you. Because the moment you listen to yourself, you become more self-aware, and being self-aware, more pain. You know how to react to situations. You know when to be silent. You know when to talk. You know how to talk. You know how to address someone, where to address a situation. You just know when and how to do certain things. So please take time to listen to your inner voice. Like, sit down and ask yourself, but in okay, I've seen that. I've heard this, I've heard that, but in wake up one day and just say, today I'm going to be listening to me. Write down those crazy dreams that you want to achieve. Plan. Listen. Chimboita, shut the noise around you. Just for a day. You'll come back a changed person. So we get older and inevitably get busier. So just because someone hasn't texted doesn't mean that they do not care. They're probably going through something, and we do not lose anything by texting first. I'm pretty sure we can all attest to adulting being a scam. We are going through things that we never expected to go through, things we were never taught how to navigate. And as adults, we experience different daily problems. So imagine I'm not going to check on memes today because I texted her last night. Kokana memes, I still feel okay on that particular day. Sorry memes for using you as an example, but yeah. What if she's not okay? sometimes we do things that well, let me leave it there. So I am going to read all this out for you, and I'm just going to leave it out there. While we learn to listen to ourselves more, let's also revive the spirit of Ubuntu. Let's not demean technology through our own selfish needs, and let us not allow technology to take control of our lives and minds. I would encourage that whenever you can take a moment to listen, enjoy your own company, see and feel the positivity that comes with it. Please take the time to listen, get rid of all the noise, enjoy your company, treat yourself in a very quiet environment, because ish kind of it is surrounded by noise every day. I don't know how you're managing to do it, but kind of just set aside a day, kuti in the Thursdays you won't see me on social media. I'm just sitting back, relaxed, and listening to myself, listening to what you want, listening to what you want to achieve, listening to your dreams talking to you, listening to your dreams calling you. Okay, so take time to listen. You're gonna need it now as we approach the end of January. Here, end. But anyways, I would need you to just set aside a day. You can even start with an hour, maybe say 2 hours. I'm just going to sit in silence, or just 2 hours I'm going to put my phone away from me. Like, you could be in your room and then you put your phone, could dining or could kitchen, you put it on silent, no disturbances whatsoever, no notifications. You just sit with yourself, you just listen to yourself. So this is it about the whole listening chapter. It was just me being mad, and then from being mad I realized that when I got off social media, I got off social media because I was actually mad. So I got off social media, but instead of being a bad thing, it actually turned out to be a good thing for me. Oh well, I later on apologized to my friend, and she apologized to me, and yeah. Friendship have Twitter back alive again. So we need that in life. We need that time off social media just to reboot, just to revive ourselves, just to revive our spirits. So with that being said, I'll see you in the next video. It could be another chapter of this baby or something different. So until then, bye. Take care of yourself, and remember to love yourself and to be soft.